Let's talk about what you can do if you lose your job, whether you're laid off, fired, you quit, or had to move. I've been getting a lot of messages and calls from people all over the country worried about their future. My father was a teamster all his life, so I've always had a close connection with the long-distance truck driving community. Many folks are deeply concerned about the current economic situation, especially with the talk of new tariffs and cargo ships no longer coming in, which means fewer jobs for drivers and dock workers. People are asking me, Ed, what do I do if I lose my job? What can I do with Social Security? Let's dive into that. A lot of people were planning to wait until their full retirement age, maybe 67, 65, or even 70, but as they say, life is what happens while you're making other plans. And life is happening right now for a lot of folks. So let's go over what your options are. Most people think Social Security is just about retirement or getting a card or disability, but there's so much more to it. When Social Security talks about retirement benefits, they're including not just your own retirement, but also spouse benefits, divorced spouse benefits, independently entitled divorced spouse benefits, and survivor benefits. You can start your retirement benefits as early as 62. However, keep in mind, if you start early, your benefits are reduced permanently. For every month you take it early, the check is slightly smaller, and that reduction lasts for the rest of your life. Some people think you can only start at 62 or on your birthday month, but that's not true. You can start in any month. Just know that each month early equals a little more reduction. But if you need the money now, that reduction might be worth it. For survivor benefits, you can start as early as 60. And again, all of these are reduced if you start before full retirement age. Now, if you can wait until you're 70, you'll actually get more than your full benefit. You'll earn what's called delayed retirement credits, an 8% increase per year beyond your full retirement age. So, that's something to consider if you can afford to wait. Now let's talk about disability. A lot of people out there are pushing themselves to keep working even though they've been suffering from a disability for months. Maybe they kept going because they needed the money. But now their company's closing or laying them off. And they're thinking, maybe I should file for disability. If that's you, then yes, file for disability. You can be any age, and if your condition keeps you from working and is expected to last 12 months or more or could result in death, you're eligible. Now, here's the reality check. Social Security disability claims take time, often many months. Unless you have a very severe condition like stage 4 cancer or a terrible accident, it probably won't be approved overnight. But please ignore the internet myth that everyone gets denied the first time. That is absolutely false. I've filed hundreds of thousands of disability claims, and I can tell you firsthand it's not true. Repeating that myth only discourages people who really need help. Here's a trick that many people don't know. You can apply for both disability and retirement at the same time. It's called a RIBDIB claim, retirement insurance benefits and disability insurance benefits. You won't get both payments, but while waiting for your disability claim to be processed, you can receive early retirement checks. Then, if you're approved for a disability, they'll convert you to the higher disability payment. It may be slightly reduced depending on how long you received retirement benefits, but overall it's a great option. Let's touch on Medicare quickly. A lot of folks out there are over 65 and still working, so they didn't sign up for a Medicare Part B. If you had insurance from your employer or your spouse's employer and that company had 20 or more employees, you didn't need to enroll. Smart move, you save that $185 monthly premium. But now, if you're losing your job and your insurance, you need to act. You won't be penalized for signing up late if you can prove you had coverage. There are two forms, CMS-4OB and CMS-L564. One is your application, and the other your employer fills out to confirm coverage. I'll include links to those in my YouTube description. Here's the catch. Because Social Security is still understaffed at a 50-year low even before the pandemic, getting your benefits could take 1 to 3 months. So what do you do in the meantime if you need money now? Here's the trick. Go to your local office and say your case is a dire need. You can also call Social Security to schedule an appointment. Better yet, reach out to your congressional representatives. Every senator and member of the House has a section on their website where you can request help with a federal agency. Once they step in, your case becomes a congressional, which gets priority treatment. Tell the guard at the SSC office this is a congressional and a dire need case they're required to get you help right away. But please only use this if your situation is truly urgent. There are others who may need it even more. What if your company says they might rehire you in a few months? What if you start getting benefits, but things change? You can change your mind. If you start receiving retirement checks and then find another job or get rehired, you have up to 12 months from the first check to completely withdraw your application. You will have to pay back the money, but it'll be like it never happened. That way, you can still wait for your full retirement age. You can also suspend your benefits if you start working again and under your full retirement age. If you go over the earnings limit $23,400 in 2025, Social Security will withhold $1 for every $2 you earn above that limit. Let's say you started benefits early and then went back to work. After you hit full retirement age, Social Security will review your record and adjust your benefit based on the number of months you actually received payments. For example, if you started benefits 30 months early but stopped after 10 months, they'll only reduce your benefits for those 10 months, not the full 30. That's a helpful correction they do automatically. One last important note. If you're considering starting benefits mid-year, and you've already earned over the annual earnings limit, don't panic. You might still qualify under the monthly earnings limit. So, if your job ends in June and you made $40,000 by then, Social Security can assess your case month by month instead of using the annual limit. This allows you to start your benefits in the second half of the year, without penalty if you stay under the monthly limit moving forward. The bottom line is this: losing your job doesn't have to spell financial disaster. Social Security has several safety nets: retirement, survivor benefits, disability, Medicare, and there are ways to navigate the system smartly. Use these tools, reach out for help when needed, and don't believe the myths. If you have more questions, join me on one of my live streams or check out the links in the description. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.